Hey everybody, I'm Joshua.
I'm Sabrina.
She's Sabrina. And if you're listening to this or watching this, we want to welcome you to our podcast and YouTube channel that we just started. And
Right now.
like a few seconds ago. Actually, it's a couple, 30 seconds ago. Anyway, it's called Perspectives, right? And so Perspectives is a down to earth, serious, fun, and relevant podcast where various topics close to home are addressed with real and informative experiences from his and hers. So, real quick, this is our first episode. So, what we want to do is we just want to do like a short introduction of who we are and why we're doing this. And then we are actually going to do, for our first episode, a short movie review
Yay.
of, what's it called?
Raya.
Raya. She said Raya for the longest time. And the kids were like, it's Raya. And then she's like, the kids are calling it Raya. It's not Raya. It's spelled Raya. And then we went and watched the movie. And guess what?
It's Raya.
It's Raya.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, as I said, I'm Joshua. This is my lovely wife, Sabrina. We are a family of 6. And I spent most of my life in technology, computers. I used to do journalism in high school. Middle school was one of my favorite hobbies, to edit videos and stuff like that. And spent a lot of time in network engineering, did a lot of that, studied a lot of networking, all kinds of crazy stuff. And then the Lord was like, hey, you should go into ministry. And I was like, okay. That's funny. I always tell people this story. Anytime somebody goes, hey, tell me your story. How'd you end up in ministry? I say, oh, it's a funny story. You'll love this. And I tell them the whole part, like I just told you, I did technology, all that stuff. And then I say, one day I felt like the Lord was calling me to ministry. And so I went to my wife, that's her, and I said, dear, I think God's calling me to ministry. And she said, I don't think that's what you're hearing. And everybody always laughs because it was kind of funny. I was like, okay, well, maybe that's not what I'm hearing. Anyway, I chase many rabbits, so I'm going to pull that back in a little bit. I am now in ministry. I am an associate family pastor, and we live in the beautiful mountains of Ashe County, Northwest North Carolina. The coolest, or is it the coolest or need it?
Coolest little corner.
The coolest little corner in North Carolina, also known as West Jefferson. And now Sabrina is going to tell you a little bit about herself.
Let's see. I went to school and got my bachelor's in psychology, worked as an optician for a little while, but
She likes the brain.
I do. No interrupting, please. Yes. So we decided that it would be cheaper for me to actually stay home than it would for the kids going to daycare. And I'm sure many of you can relate to the outrageous prices of childcare facilities. And then even whenever they started going or getting to the age of public school, the Lord placed it on my heart to homeschool. So I've been homeschooling them.
I didn't force that.
No, he didn't. He supported it, and it had to be my decision because I was not for homeschooling. I wasn't against it, other people doing it, but I didn't want to do it. So it took a lot of prayer, but God just shows you what you need to be doing when you need to be doing it. So that's what happened.
Absolutely. And she won't tell you, but she does a wonderful job. I know she always feels stressed out. And I know if there's moms out there that are doing homeschooling, you probably feel stressed out and like, my kid's not getting enough. I'm not doing enough. Everybody's going to hate me. They're going to think my kids are weird. Guess what? Who gives a crap what everybody else thinks? You know your kids better than anybody. And I got to say that every time I come home from the office, my kids are always telling me something they learned today, and they're excited about it. And it's big stuff. It's not like 2 + 2 is 4. I mean, of course, if they're that age, but they enjoy learning. They seek out stuff, and she does a great job. And so I know as humans, we never feel like we're doing enough. I'm type
Mm.
A personality perfectionist, and I never feel like I've done enough, but I'm working on it. Grace, right? Grace. So, well, did you want to share anything else before we talked about why we're doing the podcast and YouTube channel?
Just that we have 4 boys.
Yes.
One's getting ready to turn 17. We have a 14-year-old, 12-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Anytime you tell somebody we've got 4 kids, and then you say 4 boys, they always hear, "What? How does it go?" Bless your heart. And I love that. It's what we call a term of endearment, which
Yes.
basically means, "Man, you must be crazy." Um, but bless you. Anyway, yeah, 4 boys. It's fun. It's good stuff. So the reason we decided to do a podcast and a YouTube channel was because we felt like, one, there was a lot of things that you can find online
Yep.
that are related to family, kids, homeschool, maybe church ministry, Bible stuff, marriage, right? Communication, conflict resolution, all these things you can find online. But we never really found one that was all encompassing and that was funny and good and down to earth, right? And not scripted. We wanted to do something that was not scripted, but we also wanted to address various topics that just come up in everyday life because we want this to be real and we want to help people. We want to share our experiences. And we've learned a lot, I think.
I
learning.
think so.
Yeah.
Josh talks a lot, by the way. You'll learn that.
I do. It's also another. That's actually the only reason we started the podcast. I mean, let's be real. It's because I talk a lot. But no. So I hope this will be beneficial for you in some capacity, some way. I hope that you'll be able to relate. I hope that hearing us, watching us, share these things, share vacations, talk about struggles, that you will understand that. Guess what? You're not the only one that faces struggles.
Yeah.
There's other people that face struggles. And there are ways of dealing with that. And there's just a lot of neat information we want to share with you. So that's why we started it, and we hope it's a success, and we hope you follow us either on Podbean or any podcast player or on YouTube. You can find us there as well. You just have to search His and Hers Perspectives and search for our fancy logo there. All right. Well, anything else before we move into...
I don't think so. I think we're done with the introduction.
Yeah. That's cue for shut your mouth and move on. All right. So we're going to do a review of Raya. You can see that there. Raya. See? I'm already saying it now. Raya. Raya in The Last Dragon. And we saw this movie a couple of days ago with the kids. And I just want, real quick, if you're familiar with Pixar, they always do those shorts. They're like 7-8
It wasn't
video.
Pixar.
I know it wasn't. Goodness. I'm a talk around the point kind of guy until I get there. And she's like, just get to the point, man. Anyway, if you're familiar with Pixar, they do shorts. Disney did one, right, on this movie. They may have done others. This is the only one I've really seen, we saw. But it was kind of neat, and I appreciated it on multiple levels. But it starts with showing a husband and a wife who were old, right? The husband lost his zeal and zest for life. He sits in his, recliner, kicks on the TV, pulls down the shades, doesn't want to see anybody outside having a good time. Just really, I guess, bitter by old age and all that. And the wife tries to get him to come out and go outside and to just live life and not just give up. And he's not having it. So she goes off sad. And then lots of things happen. He goes out on the balcony and for reflection, maybe, I don't know. And then it starts raining. Not really sure what the rain has to do in this thing, but and then he starts to see himself as a younger person and starts to dance, right? Anyway, long story short, he ends up tracking down his wife out there in the rain and starts dancing with her and enjoying her and each other and life and all that. And I loved it for that reason because it talked about, or it showed you, there was really no words, but it showed you how no matter how old you get, it's really a matter of choice to choose to continue to love and enjoy your spouse. And I really appreciated that that moral in that concept there. What about you, Ju? Anything in there?
Well, yeah. I gotta stop saying
You don't have to. Who cares?
I do. Let's see. It was slow.
Yes.
It started slow. The short started slow, and it was kind of like, okay, what's the point of this? What are we getting to here, right? Like,
yeah.
why can't he enjoy life anymore just because he's older? His wife, he clearly had a wonderful, loving wife, and she was trying to get him out of the chair and play with him and do all kinds of stuff, and he was just not having it. And I know there are some times where we just wake up angry. I don't know about y'all, but there are just mornings where I just wake up and I'm just angry and I don't even know why. So as it went on, it was nice to see them dancing and playing again as young folk, but that kind of made me sad. Like, why was he only happy that they were young and only playful when they were young? And then when she was like, she stopped, because when the rain went away, they turned back old.
Yes.
So he was trying to catch the rain and stay in the rain so he could stay young and so she could stay young. And she stopped and let go of his hand and got out of the rain and went and sat down on a bench and just looked at the ground. And I think he realized at that point, like, what he had done to her. So yes, it is a choice. It is definitely a choice on whether or not you're going to choose to enjoy the moment, be happy, whatever it may be, whatever the choice may be.
Yeah.
So he did finally come around and realize, even though I'm old, at least I got to grow old together with this person that clearly adores him and loves him.
Yeah. Good stuff. Very solid, like I said, story. It was a really good way to start the movie. And I was glad that Disney did that because, in my opinion, we're very family-oriented. We're very meticulous on what our children consume, what kind of media they consume and all that. And I know Disney is kind of have it's been bending a little bit in the wrong direction lately. So I really was surprised to see this and appreciated it very much because that's exactly right. I mean, just because you get older doesn't mean you still can't enjoy life and you and your spouse. I mean, it's something you do. It has nothing to do with age. I mean, you may be a little bit slower, right? You might spring a hip, but you still make the choice to enjoy life and enjoy your spouse and appreciate what God has given you. And that was just a really good story in 10 minutes. Lots of dancing, but yeah, I agree. It's slow going, but it got there, and we got the point. So that was the short. Let's move on to Raya. See, my brain was getting ready to say Raya again because it's spelled that way. Raya and the Last Dragon. This movie had a great moral story.
It surprised me, actually. I came in going into this movie thinking I was not going to like it, because it was another dragon movie. It was a Disney movie, yes. And they kind of beat things into the ground sometimes, and it was surprising, the storyline, and actually being able to enjoy the movie. Honestly, it was really good, and I really liked it, and I would see it again.
Yeah, we're looking forward to when it comes out on Redbox. So the premise is there is, and I don't know the language, the words they use, but they're one people, one big group, all different, unique, but one people, right? And they're united through the dragons. But what happens is when people start, in my opinion, despairing, losing hope, they begin fighting each other instead of uniting against the common enemy. And this thing called the Droon comes, and it's really just like a cloud of purple electricity and black smoke, and it overtakes people in the land, and when it passes over people, it turns them into stone.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be honest here. I feel like they took a lot from Scripture, but
Most movies do. I
most
mean, you kind of,
yeah, that's very true.
it's the foundation of the world, so of life. So it's kind of hard not to.
That's right. It's very true. The foundation. When it turned them into stone, in my opinion, to me, that was them hardening their heart, right? And so they're no longer capable to love one another and others sacrificially, and to see the good in people, that they were turned to stone and that they just could only, that's all they could do.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't get that, but at
What
all.
did you get? Tell me.
Weird. Well, they were turned to stone. It wasn't by choice or anything that they were turned to stone. It was they got ran down, and then cloud went over them and turned them to stone. So no, they couldn't do anything. They were stone. They didn't have life in them.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess I was basing it off of Scripture when Jesus talks about towards the end times that lawlessness will increase, and because of that, the love of many will grow cold. Mm-hmm. And so, not necessarily by choice, but because they could not unify around a common enemy, and instead they were fighting each other, it brought about this cold-heartedness. And again, maybe I'm reading too much into the stone thing. I probably am. I'm a little weird, just like she said. So, but
now the people that were left that hadn't been turned into stone yet, they were all fighting each other and couldn't trust anyone. They didn't trust anybody.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and so when they created this disunity, it kind of broke up their lands into, I think, like 5 different lands, was it? Talon, fang, tail, spine, tooth. No, fang.
You
heart.
said fang already.
Yeah, so heart, talon, fang, spine, and
whatever.
So there's 5 lands, and the daughter from the tribe of Heart is seeking out the last dragon, right? Because the dragons, they banished the Droon originally, but as they did that, they oh, that's right, we need to back up a little bit. As they did that, the last dragon used this gem that they all put together, all their powers together, and banished the Droon. And then that gem was being held by the tribe of Heart for protection, right? Because they didn't want people to try to steal it and use it for nefarious purposes. Well, anyway, that's how they create disunity. Is the dad invites everybody there, and he wants everybody to be one big happy family, one people. Well, they find out the stone is there. The daughter is betrayed by somebody she thought was her friend from a different tribe. They try to steal the stone. They break it apart. Each land takes one piece, so there's 5 pieces, right? Mm-hmm. And that brings back the Droon, right? So there's no unity anymore. So anyway, the daughter goes and tries to go to each tribe and find the pieces to put them together to rebuild the stone to bring back the last dragon. And no?
She brought back the last dragon.
That's right.
With her stone.
Her stone.
And then realized that the dragon had powers. And there were different dragons that they put all their magic into each of those stones. So there's different pieces.
Yeah, that's right.
And so she was trying to find all the other stones so this last dragon could have all the powers.
Yes, to get rid of the Droon again and bring everybody back that was turned to stone. See, so smart. I mean, it's beauty and brains. That's why I married her. Yeah, and so it's funny dragon, right? You're thinking, oh man, this story they tell at the beginning, the dragon's awesome, they're powerful, they did all this great stuff, and then you meet the first dragon, the original, the one that banished Droon in the first place, and she's just hilariously funny.
Yes.
And one of my favorite lines in the movie, I don't know if you had one, but I did. So the daughter is telling her about the stone and the story it broke, etc., blah, blah, blah. And she's like, but don't worry, it broke, but we still have a big chunk left. And the dragon's like, is that supposed to make me feel better? If I told you we lost a puppy but still had a big chunk left, would that make you feel better? That was my favoriteest line in the whole movie. It cracked me up. I loved it.
It was funny.
Did you have a favorite part or line in the movie?
There were a lot of really good parts, and it was funny and it was endearing at times too. So
Very sad.
I think the monkeys and the baby were
Yes.
probably they were hilarious. So I think we're gonna have to put like a what do you call those things? A disclaimer that there might be. What do you call that when you are telling somebody about a movie and you are
Oh, spoiler alerts.
spoiler alerts?
Yes. Yes. But you should see the movie, especially if only for the babies or the baby and the monkeys. Hilarious.
Yes. But Raya, altogether, I think her character and her personality was just really awesome.
Yeah.
Like she was selfless
Yeah.
and cared about others a lot. I think that's why one of the things that I liked a lot about the movie too, that this is a Disney princess, but she's strong and brave and courageous, but also has humility and
Yes.
just this kind spirit, kind heart about her. So I think that was
Yeah.
what
No,
really stood out.
I think you hit it. She treated people how she wanted people to treat her, and she saw others how she wanted to be seen. And what I really love about her personality and her morals and values and all that is that she got them from her father. Her
Yes.
father taught her these things as she was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And you could always see love in his face even when people would do wrong. And so you could always see that in Raya's face. Raya's face. When she experienced hardship or trial. So yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. It's just that humility and that wanting to see and treat others as you want to be seen and treated. It's just a very well done movie, very funny. And I know I said I already Christianized the movie a whole lot, and I'll stop. But I just want to say one more thing. The whole concept of being one people from different tribes and languages and tongues and coming together. If you're not familiar with Scripture, you can look up Revelation 7:9-10, which talks about every tribe, tongue, language, and nation will be in heaven and worshiping the Lord. And so, again, I Christianize the movie quite a bit, but I like to try to see everything through a Christian worldview because I think it's important, helps us understand stuff, helps us relate stuff. But overall, just a powerful movie, very emotional towards the end. I mean, it's worth it if you're an adult, and it's worth it if you're a kid.
Yep.
And the great thing was, this is one of those movies that, even for a kids movie, sometimes they put in the adult humor.
Oh, yeah.
There was none of that in this movie, and it was still really good.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was really good. And it wasn't like your regular Disney movie where there's song after song after song either. So that was good too. I mean, I like Disney movies with the songs and stuff too, like Frozen and Lion King and all those, but it was nice to have a Disney movie that didn't have songs. I don't even think there was one song.
I was just getting ready to say, there wasn't.
I don't think so.
No, there wasn't even one song in there, and so, but still, just overall a great movie.
Mm-hmm. And we have boys, and the boys liked it a lot. So,
I mean,
it was just really well done.
And I know some people are going to say, hooray for Raya. I'll get it right by the end of this. Hooray for Raya, strong, feminine woman, etc. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think if that's the only reason we're cheering it, then we're missing the whole point of this moral story, just wrought with humility, trust and distrust, courage, bravery, love, and forgiveness. And
forgiveness
was
a big thing, and
goosebumps. It was.
I mean, that would be really hard to do to someone, like give forgiveness to somebody that betrayed you and basically, as they put it, broke the world.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're like you lost everything because of that. So
yeah, and she did. And of course, we won't tell you much more about that because we don't want to spoil it for you. We want you to go watch it because it's an awesome movie. If you're in Ashe County, go see Tony at Parkway Theater because he's our guy. That's where we take our family. So.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. You got anything else you want to throw out there about Raya or anything in general? I think we've hit a lot and.
I don't think so about the movie or anything right now. Like we said, this is our first video. We'll get better as time goes on, but we don't want it to be scripted. We don't want it to be fake. You know, I don't do well with scripts anyway.
Except for the background. That's fake. We're not really in a studio sitting in front of a skyline.
Like you couldn't tell.
Like you couldn't tell. Yeah.
There will be times where hopefully we can get outside. I mean, if you live in the North Carolina mountains, you know that there's freezing rain tonight. So it is cold.
Yes.
And it's been a long winter and it may continue. Last year we didn't get to spring, summer until June.
Yeah.
So it lasts a while here.
Yeah, it's definitely different. And I thought when we were in Missouri years ago that was the only place that you had like 4 seasons in a week or an hour. And we moved to North Carolina and they're like, just hang around for a bit, it'll change. And I was like, what? And sure enough, it does. But,
yeah, but we have other things that we're going to be discussing as well. It won't just be movies and things like that all the time. We're going to do tours of the town. I know some of y'all will like that, and interviews with people with some of the shops in town. And then also some maybe things that struggles or whatever that people might deal with as well that we've gone through. So
absolutely. Marital stuff, definitely. And if you have a question, you can leave it in the comments or you can send it to us and let us know. And we do have we're going to share with you, we got to go on vacation recently, and so we're going to share our experience there. And we went to Kitty Hawk in the Outer Banks, or the Outer Banks, Kitty Hawk, whatever. We went out there and we stayed at a nice resort, and so that's going to be up and coming in the next few weeks as well. So hopefully you stay tuned for that. And yeah, I mean, we really just want to be here as an outlet and a way to help you, talk to you about stuff and share with you life and encourage you that life is awesome and worth living. So, anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. You can subscribe to our podcast or our YouTube channel, or both if you'd like, because we'll have video and audio there. But we look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, God bless you, God keep you, and have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.